Hey, it's me, Bob Daddy, and I'm here to review Booker T's Reality of Wrestling first internet pay-per-view show. Now, this pay-per-view event took place in Humble, Texas, in a sold-out arena. Now, keep in mind, it's not a very big audience. Granted, bigger than TNA's house show combined, but it's still pretty impressive that they managed to sort out that place in the first internet pay-per-view event. Now, you order the pay-per-view on realitywrestling.com. It costs $5. It's got 8 matches, and the show lasts for a little over 2 hours, so you're already getting a excellent deal right there. Need I say more? Now, before I talk about each of the match that was on the show, I'm just going to say this. I think you should definitely buy the show right now. In fact, don't listen to each of the match in my opinion of it, even though I'm not going to review the results of each match. I think you get a much better experience from just watching the show, not knowing each of the matches are. Mainly because this show has former WWE and former TNA wrestlers on there. A few of them competing in a couple of matches. It's really worth it, and you're definitely marked out. So if you don't want me to spoil who's on there, even though I'm going to leave a few of them out of there, I recommend pretty much turning off the video and buy the pay-per-view right away. Now, with that being said, I took some notes right here, and pretty much I talk about each match and my quick thoughts on it. Again, I'm not going to review any of the results, but I am going to review each of the participants, including the former WWE and TNA wrestlers that's on there. Now, the opening match is Abel Andrew Jackson. He's a heel pretending to be a politician. Now, not only he's a wrestler, but his main goal is to pretty much overthrow the current general manager, which is Sharmell Huffman. And he wants to control pretty much reality of wrestling. And that night, he faced former WWE and TNA tag team star Brother Devon. It's a decent opener. The outcome is pretty predictable. I don't think I need to even say who won, but it was a decent way to start the show. But nothing much actually happened from right there. Now, next we got Rockstar Robbie versus Evan Snow. Now, I'm not going to talk about each one of those wrestlers, except that Rockstar Robbie is a heel while Evan Snow is a face. If you're ever planning to buy this iPPV and you're listening before you watched it, I would like to see your initial reaction on Evan Snow's entrance. Let's just say it's interesting and keep it as that. Anyway, it was a decent match. There was a few near falls, and it was pretty intense despite not having much backstory to it. The only way that I could see that they could improve this match is if there was a title on the line or it was a number 1 contender match. But other than that, it was definitely a good match. Now, next is the Diamond Division, which is pretty much all the women wrestlers on there. I don't really get wrestling companies calling women wrestlers by different names. Like WWE got the Diva Division, TNA got the Knockout Division. I guess Diamond Division is a nice name, but I don't really see the point in all of that. Now, this is a Diamond Division Battle Royal. where they crowned the first ever women's champion. Now the title looks pretty nice, definitely better than the Divas title they have in WWE, but it's pretty much a knockoff of WWE's Intercontinental Championship belt. Now I didn't like the way that. Well, if it was me personally, I would make it a singles match or even a fatal four way if they want to feature more women's wrestlers, since this is the only women's match on the card. But a battle royal, especially when you're very new to reality of wrestling, you don't know who to root for, and the show pretty much talk about the two top stars. This is Cinema, the top heel, and Strike, who is the top face. And by mentioning that, you can probably get at least two guesses who's going to win this match. Now, even though the Battle Royal is to throw your opponent out of the ring, doesn't have to be the top rope. Most of the women in the match went over the top rope, which I find pretty impressive and already better than the Divas division. And they have more women wrestlers than the TNA Knockout division. They put out some good moves out there here and there, but for the most part, it was I guess it was okay match. I guess for a battle royal, it could have gone worse, but for the most part, not much to complain about. Now next is the Heavenly Bodies, or the new Heavenly Bodies as they're called, versus the Lockout Brothers, who are the current tag team champions, and they are pretty much having the titles on the line. Now this was a pretty good match. It was kind of slow at the start, but it picked up right in the middle, and a lot of near falls in this match. Now the Heavenly Bodies are now regular on reality of wrestling, while the Lockout Brothers are all regulars of reality wrestling and are currently the longest reigning reality of wrestling tag team champions. Now, based on the backstory that the show gives about the Heavenly Bodies, seriously, I would recommend a different tag team name. But anyways, those team are pretty much up north, and they're pretty much saying that Texas sucks, and they're gonna bring the titles back to where real wrestlers are from, northeast. So yeah, they're pretty much the heroes of the match, while the Lockout Brothers, being Texas born, defending the titles in their honor in Texas as well. Again, pretty great match. I would say it dragged on a bit much, but compared to the other matches that was on the card, maybe the other matches would have been shorter, and I would have maybe that tag match a bit longer by comparison. But either way, a great tag team match. Now we get Rufus Ryan Davison versus The Pride in a street fight, and there's some backstory to this, though it's pretty much just standard I'm the best, no I'm the best, story. There's a few botches here and there, especially one major one. Not going to review it, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see that on Botchamania. But for the most part, a decent match. It was kind of slow for a street match, and I probably wouldn't mind that if they were setting tables or a huge move, but they weren't. They were mostly using chairs and belts. But again, it was a decent match. I guess it'd be one of the weaker matches of the card, but it's still a great match, so it's saying a lot. Next we get Jasper the Hammer Davis versus Raj Singh, but most people will know him as former WWE superstar Jinder Mahal. So if TWK is watching this, that's pretty much going to be his favorite match. It's your typical squash match. Yeah, it's probably not surprised who won here. It sounds like that they signed Jinder Mahal to a deal, maybe not a long-term one, but it sounds like he's going to make some TV appearances here and there. And not much went on in the match. It was okay, but I think the only thing that saved it was the fans who were chanting "Don't hinder Jinder." It was pretty awesome. And Cristiano from Team International versus Brian Keith and Jonathan Gresham. It was an okay tag match. Wasn't any build up, and because of that, I think it went way too long than it needs to be. There were some nice spots, a few high flying moves, I guess, but one of the forgettable matches on the card. Plus, I want to say the finish was predictable, but I guess because I've been watching some reality wrestling on TV, I guess I saw it coming, but most of you who probably don't watch reality wrestling on a weekly basis probably wouldn't be able to predict the finish anyway. And now to our main event is the challenger, the Mysterious Q, versus the reality wrestling heavyweight champion, the Samoan Beast, in a steel cage match. And definitely the match of the night. Now granted, it started a bit slow, the heel, the Samoan Beast, dominating the first half of the match. But once the Mysterious Q gets some offense in, it becomes pretty exciting, and some nice use of the cage, including the Mysterious Q doing some high flying moves. Mysterious Q pretty much the fast paced wrestler, while the Samoan Beast being huge. So, but the Samoan Beast put out some amazing move. As if you're watching the pay-per-view already, you know what I'm talking about. They also each have some former WWE, WCW wrestlers on the side. I won't reveal who. Well, the first one is predictable since he's on reality wrestling pretty much every week. But the second one, I'm not going to reveal. But it's an excellent match. You should definitely watch it. And overall, reality wrestling Summit of Champions, a great show. Better than Battleground. I wouldn't say better than WrestleMania, of course not. Or even Extreme Wars. I would say, I guess it would match up to TNA Summerversary 12. But it's definitely a great pay-per-view to only $5. It's a great deal. Give reality wrestling a try. This is me, Bobby 33, and I catch you guys later.